Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Aishah Binti dan Wera. I am from MBA1193C. I would like to introduce about banker's check. Introduction of banker's checks. Banker's check, also known as a banker's draft, and it's provided to the customers that given from a bank for a remittance purposes such as payment for their purchases, bills, debts, and so on. This check also a payment that required for customers as a collateral for purchases made to the seller. It is also as a bank certificate that certified by the bank to settle the fee from the buyer to the seller and make it enable payable check to the seller. People who give the check to the bank, which is wrote with the specific amount commonly, is the boss of a company that obtain a powerful to give the staff or workers salaries and make it enable the bank to give them their money from the company's bank account to the payee's account. For the basic needs, must have to write in the check are the name of the person or one or organization that we are paying, add details about the account of the payees to avoid from the careless or transfer to the wrong account. Write the amount that totally want to give to the right person, and must be careful when writing the important things on the check, and also make sure no wrong so it will easily the bank transfer to that person. Banker's check is also known as a cashier's order banker's check is also known as a cashier's order too, which that mean the purchasing that did from the cashier's order will automatically deducted from our account bank to the bank's on account, and the money will be transferred to the recipient by the bank when the money of cashier's order has been cashed. Besides, through the cashier's orders called this banker's check is a check that give the best method to do the settling the payment with a large amount of money to the payees. It is because to make sure that the amount of money given to the right recipient adequately and can prevent transfer to the wrong ownership of the money. This cashier's order also can purchase through the online banking to save energy and time. True banker's check also have advantages. Firstly, it is very easy because we don't need to hold a large amount of money to bring it everywhere, and it can cause dangerous to us. We just need to go to the bank to do the settlement with a piece of paper check. When there is no need to do an urgent things to use that money to transfer, banker's check is very suitable way for them to do the settlement. Besides, it is also the best for them who lack money and less able to spend a lot of money. They can use banker's check because it's very cheapest international way for making the payment. More than that, if the information about the payee is incomplete, banker's check is the very suitable and convenient way, even though it is not enough information, because in banker's check just only need to write an address and name that requested to pay. Moreover, the banker's check is the simple way to make the processing in the business banking, because it become more easier for some businesses, as they can leave at the end of processing to the bank without need to think about it anymore. In addition, the company which has a little revenue will use banker's check to decrease the flow of the bank because of the fund that has given, so they will have some realization in payment. Last but not least, by making payments can further expand company customer base to attract more customers. Even though we have the better platform to do the payments such as online payment and so on, but if we close a certain route of payment by check, it will give bad impact to the company and reduce customers to purchase because they so many people still more comfortable and also still use payment through a check. We also have disadvantages use bankers check. The increasing progress of the era globalization in this field of technology has caused many people to use less checks to transfer to other bank accounts if they want to buy or pay for some purchasing and change it to debit and credit cards. Check payments start to be processed as electronic debit, which extends the seller or hackers can access further into our personal account that can make them not only know our account number but also know all about our personal information and contact number to make them easier to do the fraud. This will occur the illegal money deduction if given to someone who has no responsibility and distrust, because this act of illegal deduction is a legal way and can be cancelled only through written objection by the account holder only. Payment by check also requires very little protection against the use of debit and credit cards in the event of fraud. Besides, payments by check need to take more time other than debit and credit cards, which can swipe and transfer quickly without to wait a little longer than payment by check. This method of payment can give us difficult and slow progress when running a business or slow us down when we need funds to build the best arrangements that the business will run. We have to wait 2 or more days from the day we sign and give the check to the merchant for the money transfer to our account, so we will lose the precious time to enhance development in our business. Other than that, check that are cancelled to fraud and malpractice will result in the submission of documents repeatedly to be checked and need to ensure that the information sent is valid. This is not only a waste of time but also make us having a lot burden to ensure that the cancelled check is properly stored and do not disappear it. The conclusion is the payment by check can give us more troubles and less protection than debit or credit cards, and also makes us need to be more careful when signing to be valid and match with the signature content in the file at the bank. Okay, steps to use banker's check. First step, make sure write the name or organization that we are paying. Second step, to make sure other people can write or add extra numbers or names, we need to draw a line through any blank space on the check. Third step, to make sure the money end up at the right place, we need adding the details of the payee, such as write a reference or account number. Step 4, to take precautions, we need to keep a check mark that containing detailed evidence and reference. Step 5, make sure that our account bank has enough money to cover the value that need to pay and need to deduct it from our bank to avoid the bank charge us a fee for the bounce payment. Commonly, the issues about bankers' checks, such as use a check when to pay someone or get to paid by someone, but there are some issues that we need to take precautions, such as we won't be sure that the check has cleared, which is the money is really yours, because we need to wait until 6 working days to avoid pay back the owner. This is very difficult and not liked by everyone that adapt this situation, because sometimes we need to use the money quickly and use for the urgent things. Besides, if we want to stop the check because of problem happens, such as write a wrong name on the check or lost the check, so we can tell and ask the bank to cancel the check, but it will be a charge for these things. This cause us need to make a check mark and that contains personal information and reference to avoid many misinformation happens. Others, if you want to cancel the check, when you know it will bounce, that also will be categorized as a criminal offense. Last but not least, check usually expired at least 6 months from the given period. So the thing we need to do is pay all the check given as soon as possible to avoid the rejection due to the expiration of the check. And when someone asks for a new check because they have lost the original check or the check has expired, we need to inform the bank to stop the previous check so that the money in the bank is safe from being misappropriated by irresponsible people or hackers. The recommendation to the issues. The recommendation regarding the issues need to check it properly when to write name and amount the check to avoid cancellation happens due to our mistakes and the payer. And payer need to meet up, discuss the date that check will be transferred to the payee account so that the payee can estimate the day they can use that money, and the payer also must to pay it as soon as possible to avoid expiry date. Next, I prohibit purchases and payments when online, such as use debit or credit cards, to prevent us from waiting too long and avoiding irregularities or errors in transferring money to a bank account during payment or purchase things. This kind of method can give us more advantages and make us easier to run the business quickly and further strengthen the continuity of the business. Besides, we don't need to add more problems and complicated situation when use debit and credit card. Can be used. It also can be used. It also can because we just have to swipe and transfer by online banking. The recommendation that I can prefer is also we need to mark check and write the details and the reference to avoid from the criminal offense in misappropriating the money for his pleasure later. So we must take the first initiative to be vigilant so that it is easy when something undesirable happens, such as lost check, expiration check, and so on. The conclusion is there are several ways for the remittance purpose, and one of them is as we discussed above. Banker's check is one of the easier way to do the payment, but it also has the disadvantages, and that we will face it even a little careless. We need to be careful when receiving a banker's check from someone that write a lot of amount of money to avoid being fraud, because not guaranteed that the check true or not. So we need to take an extra care. Using banker's check is the less better payment because payment by check can be vulnerable to danger and crime due to lack security care, and even a payment that takes a long time to transfer to the bank account of the pet owner. It is also have a charge if the occurrence of an error that will make us face more problems and not only need to adapt the criminal offense but also waste of money. As they enhance the increasing of our era globalization, we can decrease to use banker's check and use the better solution of payment such as online banking through debit or credit card than banker's check. Besides, we need to record and mark the information of each check to easily get the information of the check when bad things happen. So we can conclude that the banker's check has the benefit which we don't have to bring a cash money and also easy to do the payment, but it is also has shortage when use this method to do the payment. That's all from me. Thank you.